not needed, we'll skip it. I did it for maths and physics. If you people want it, we'll go through it. Otherwise, we'll directly go to the problems. I did not find any hard questions in mathematics at all, except for that complex numbers. I'll tell you my method as well, and we will take your method if you have any method better than what I did. Then in physics also, some questions were very straightforward. They did not require any at all. There were two questions, one on electromagnetic induction, other one on moving charge and magnetism. I thought they were a bit thought-provoking, but apart from that, for me, it was, I would say, pretty much a cakewalk. Anyways, so if you are okay with this, we'll directly start discussing the questions. I'll start with maths. Now I have the solutions ready. If you think you have a better solution, you can. How many 3-digit numbers divisible by 5 are there in which no digits are repeated? 4 options were there. Of course, now because 136 is the answer, we really don't need to worry about. So my approach is this. When we say divisible by 5, the number can either end in 0 or it can end in a 5. Correct? Now what I did is, if I want to calculate the total numbers, total 3-digit numbers which end with 0 and which are divisible by 5, with repetitions allowed, it is 9 into it. And then I subtracted 9 because I did not want 110, 120. So that turns out to be 72. It's removing those. Alternately, you could have also done 9 into 8 there. It's 9p2. Okay. And then when it comes to numbers ending with 5, okay, I considered the cases separately. First, where there is a 0, and second, there is not a 0. Okay, and also not 5. Okay. Now, if a 0 is there, we have total 9 numbers now, 1 to 9, because the repetition is not allowed, and because of that, 5 also gets excluded. So there are 8 possibilities there. And if you now, because you already considered 0, you would now be considering 3-digit numbers ending with 5 with no repetitions and with no 0. So total 9 numbers are there. 1 is gone because 5 is not there. So 8 into 7, that is 8p2. That's 56. You add them, you get 136. I hope most of you did it correctly. 72, 8 and 56. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone who did a different method? I don't think there is anything different that you can do with this. Right? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Yeah, this was also, I would say, a deliberate inclusion of matrices there. It's really there is nothing about matrix that is tested. Let A be a 3 by 3 matrix with real entries such that A is 4 negative 1 cos x, negative 1 5x 25, x squared plus 1 25 and 7. For how many values of x the matrix A is symmetric? You can see diagonal elements anyways, they don't matter. This and this, they're already there. So the only way this can be symmetric is when cos x equals x squared plus 1. Now the range of x squared plus 1 has local minimum or absolute minimum at 1, and that happens to be the maximum of cos, whose graph is sandwiched between -1 and 1. Right, so if you know that, then it's very easy that there's only one value of x that meets the requirement, and then yeah, there's only one. Cool. I don't really think even this question was rather deserved to be there, लेकिन अभी उन्होंने बहुत ही dilute कर दिया difficulty level. That's what I felt. Any comments on this second question?
No, sir.
None? If you have, please raise your hand and ask. Acha. Ishan had a doubt in third question, but this was a, I would say, tricky question on binomial theorem. I mean, when there is summation and binomial coefficients, NCR, you have to guess that it must have something to do with binomial. Let n be summation r0 to 10 negative 1 raised to r 10 cr 2 by 3 raised to 2 r 3 raised to 20. अभी वो 3 raised to 20 है ना, वो बहुत ही सस्पिशियस है, उसका कोई काम नहीं है वहाँ पे. सिर्फ वो समंड को इंटीजर बनाने के लिए उसका यूज़ है, बिकॉज द ऑप्शंस आर सेइंग with what number will it be divisible, 5 6 8 9. So the trick that I used is, well, there's nothing. Firstly, I absorbed this minus 1 raised to r in this. Okay, so that made it negative 4 by 9 raised to r. And see, when you have increasing powers of a number, okay, minus 4 by 9 and nothing else apart from binomial coefficients, it should occur to you that the first term has to be 1, or at least in the binomial one of the terms, two terms should be 1. अगर वो होता है तो फिर 1 plus x raised to n का expansion nc0 plus nc1 into x plus nc2 into x raised to 2 and so on. So that happens, and once you get that pattern, then that whole summation becomes 1 plus negative 4 by 9 raised to 10. 1 minus 4 by 9 is 5 by 9. 9 raised to 10 cancels 3 raised to 20 because they are one and the same. 5 raised to 10, it's a prime number raised to 10, so it has to be divisible. In fact, it is divisible by 25, 125, anything. तो अगर उन्होंने वो भी पूछा रहता ना, ऐसे instead of saying 5, they could have just complicated things and said 125, say 216. Okay, that is also a possibility, लेकिन अभी उन्होंने नहीं किया. So this. ठीक है. Do you have any doubts here in question 3? Or any other way you solve the problem? Yes, Yuvraj.
I wasn't getting how to solve this question. What I did was elimination. I had no idea how to do it initially. So I decided I'll try elimination. I noticed six option B and C had two, and they had to be divisible by 2 at least to narrow it down.
Okay. But
Well,
then
I took 3.
how did you decide that it would be an odd number?
I knew it couldn't be an even number because if you take 3 part 20 common,
Huh.
and then what I did, I took the first few terms,
Hmm.
and then I noticed that the first term is 1 or something, and if you add 1 to anything, uh,
No, but you are not looking at the fact that it's not just the addition of the binomial coefficients, it is actually inclusion of these fractions to them.
that also I did consider that.
Okay, you did. Yes, I think Ishan did message me about what you are saying. Ishan, you also eliminated 6 and 8.
I eliminated 6 and 9 because I realized that in the 10th term, the 3 raised to 20 in the denominator and 3 raised to 20 in the numerator cancels each other out, and all other terms are divisible by 3. So the last term not being divisible by 3 cuts it out. So 6 and 9 are eliminated.
So if you
Yeah,
both were solving together, you would have got it.
Yes.
I did get it.
You
I initially narrowed it down because the 2, it couldn't have been divisible by 2. Then I did it by 3.
okay. Fine, fair enough. But you eventually got it, right, Yuvraj? Or no?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, great. So others who have joined late, अगर आपको किसी में doubt है तो आप पूछ सकते हो. We are quickly going through the solutions. Question 4. Let f from r to r be the function given by cos of tan inverse of x. Which of the following statements is true? F is decreasing for positive x, f is decreasing for negative x, f is decreasing on r, f is decreasing on the interval negative 1 to 1, open. Now, first of all, आपको composite functions के properties और specifically tan inverse of x का domain और range पता होना चाहिए, right? The principal value branch of tan x is what we consider for defining tan inverse of x. Okay, तो ये पार्ट आपको पता होना ज़रूरी है सबसे पहले, because the domain of the inner function remains the domain of the composite function, but the range of the inner function kind of becomes the domain of the outer function. Here the outer function is cos. तो डोमेन तो उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, दिस डिफाइंड फॉर ऑल वैल्यूज ऑफ एक्स, सो नेगेटिव इन्फिनिटी टू पॉजिटिव इन्फिनिटी वुड बी द डोमेन. But the range of tan inverse of x, that is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. I hope you know that. So whatever values you will be feeding for cos, okay, whatever values you will be feeding for cos, they will be from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, in which cos is always positive. Okay, minus pi by 2 से 0 पॉजिटिव होता है क्योंकि फोर्थ क्वाड्रेंट है, और 0 to pi by 2 वैसे भी पॉजिटिव होता है फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट. So what you had to do was you had to first assume the values of x. तो see, if you consider this negative, तो इसमें ये और ये इन दोनों में से कुछ इसके बारे में कुछ तो इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको मिल सकती है या इसके बारे में, ठीक है. सो आई डिड दैट and then I just converted that inequality to tan inverse of x. तो अगर आपका x माइनस इन्फिनिटी और 0 के बीच में है, तो आपका tan इनवर्स ऑफ x जो है वो माइनस pi by 2 to 0 के बीच में रहेगा. अभी यहाँ पे और एक बात है, दिस इज वेयर वी यूज इंटरमीडिएट वैल्यू थ्योरम, राइट. दिस इज वेयर वी यूज इंटरमीडिएट वैल्यू थ्योरम बिकॉज tan इनवर्स ऑफ x इज कंटिन्यूस, करेक्ट, एंड tan x ऑल्सो इसके रेंज पे. तो when theta is negative, we know cos theta increases from 0 to 1. I hope you people know that. अगर आपने cos theta का ग्राफ देखा, ओके, तो माइनस पाई बाय 2 में वो 0 है, राइट. इफ यू से दिस इज माइनस पाई बाय 2, so it says 0 there, then it goes to 1 at 0 and that again falls down. तो अगर ये भी आप निकालते डायरेक्टली यहाँ से तो भी आपका आंसर आ जाता था, दैट इट इज इंक्रीजिंग फ्रॉम माइनस pi by 2 to 0, राइट, एंड देन इट इज डिक्रीजिंग फ्रॉम 0 to pi by 2. बट ये किसके लिए, tan इनवर्स ऑफ x के लिए. अगर आप x लेते हो तो फिर वो जो आपने अभी माइनस pi by 2 to 0 के लिए कहा है वो हो जाएगा माइनस इन्फिनिटी टू 0. सो माइनस इन्फिनिटी टू 0 it is increasing, right, it is increasing. So what option would be correct? In fact this is not there in the options. वो 0 to pi by 2 के लिए उन्होंने क्या कहा है, डिक्रीज हो रहा है, ठीक है. 1 second. Oh, please 1 second. Okay, so once you get to know that, then the problem is very simple. In fact, using this you can eliminate a lot of options. Then only A remains, or the one that said f is decreasing for x positive. Cool. तो ये किन लोगों को नहीं आया, let me know why you could not do this.
Sir, may I suggest a different method? Sir, we can draw a triangle, assume the angle to be theta, and the opposite will be x and the adjacent will be 1. So the hypotenuse will be under root 1 plus x square, and cos of that will be 1 upon under root 1 plus x square, and we can find the derivative of that, and we get f dash x to be minus 1.
No, but that is applicable only if the angles are acute.
Yes, but sir, we can generalize it, I think, because I've solved many questions by this same logic and I haven't found a problem with it.
Not saying no, but I think this sounds more systematic than what you said.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, I mean, luckily the answer was decreasing for positive values of x. The positive values of x mean tan inverse of x to be acute. So I think that might have helped you in deciding the correct option, but otherwise I'll recommend you to follow this method. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let's go to the next one now. Yeah, this is the graph that I had drawn. Yeah, I think this was the easiest. let A be the set of all real values such that -1 less than determinant of the matrix 3x minus 1, 2, minus 2, 5 less than or equal to 29. Do I need to explain this?
No, sir.
No, it was very straightforward. The only thing that you had to look at or look after was this was a strict inequality and this was a slack inequality, which actually means that the interval here will be closed and the interval here would be open. That is what happened here. Okay. All right. Let's go to sixth question now. Okay. Now, my method definitely involves trial and error. If you did this with a different method, you can let me know. Let Z1, Z2 and Z3 be complex numbers satisfying the following conditions. 2 equals mod of 2Z1, which also equals mod of Z2 minus 1, which also equals mod of Z3 plus 1, which equals mod of 1 upon Z1 plus 1 upon Z2 minus 1 plus 1 upon Z3 plus 1. What is the value of 4Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 mod? Now, the first thing that I spotted when I looked at this problem was all these equations, they are corresponding to some circles on the argument plane. Okay, and you can see that I have plotted them here. If you consider the first one, आप 2 को cancel करके आपका आ जाएगा mod of z1 equal to 1, जो आपका है यूनिट सर्कल, जो यहाँ पे ओके -1 to 1. और अगर आपने mod of z2 minus 1 को 2 ले लिया, that I have shown in the blue color, okay, with center at 1 and radius equal to 2, तो रेडियस 2 है तो यहाँ पे ये 3 तक जाएगा और यहाँ पे ये -1 तक जाएगा, तो इसका एक ही पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन होगा विद द यूनिट सर्कल एंड दैट वुड बी -1. Okay, and then similarly its reflection around y-axis, that would be mod of z3 plus 1 equal to 2, centered at -1, 0, radius equal to 2. तो वो ग्रे सर्कल है, ये ग्रे सर्कल भी यूनिट सर्कल को एक ही पॉइंट पर इंटरसेक्ट करेगा, दैट्स दिस पॉइंट, and then it will meet the other larger circle at two different points, 0 plus 2i and 0 minus 2i, और 0 to 0 minus 2 respect. ठीक है, तो I looked at the options and I realized that यहाँ पे कोई भी irrational ऐसा नंबर नहीं है. ओके, तो मैंने सोचा कि क्या हम इन्हीं नंबर्स के साथ कुछ ट्राई कर सकते हैं क्या, -3, -1, 1, 3, -2, 2. So I did that and I luckily got the answer. What I did was I did try many combinations, but this seemed to have worked. तो मैंने ये ध्यान दिया कि ये जो 2 है ना, ये मैं 1/2 1/2 ऐसे इसमें ऐसे डिवाइड करूँगा. So I luckily managed to get it. That took Z1 to be 1 because that was the simplest. I did not want to make it any larger क्योंकि Z1 का डिनोमिनेटर I don't know, लेकिन मैंने उसको 1 ही रखा, और ये Z2 minus 1, Z3 plus 1 इनको मैंने 2 असाइन करके I luckily got the answer. If you have done it, then please let me know any other method. Yes.
Sir, we can use mod of z equal to z into z conjugate and do it that way, right?
How?
So we have mod of z1 equal to 1,
Okay.
z2 minus 1 equals 2, and mod z3 plus 1 equals 2. So we get z1 into z1 conjugate equals 1, or z1 is equal to 1 by or 1 by z1 equals z1 conjugate. And you do the same for the other two also.
Okay.
And you can directly substitute in the third equation given. So if you get 1 by z1, you can write it as z1 conjugate. 1 by z2 minus 1, you can write it as z2 minus 1 conjugate, or z2 minus 1 by 4, I think you'll get. And then you can cross multiply by 4, and yeah, you'll get the answer as 8.
Oh, you did it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said use the properties of the conjugates. Z into Z bar is mod Z squared.
Yeah.
Okay. ठीक है, I'll have a look at it. Any other method? None? Okay. Question 7. Let f from R to R be defined as f of x equal to mod of x cubed minus 3x into box x, where box x denotes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Which of the following statements is true? Every non-zero integer is a point of discontinuity of f. F is continuous at every real number. Every integer is a point of discontinuity of f. F is continuous at every real number except for 0 and plus or minus root 3. Now see, अगर आपने 0 पिक किया तो ऑप्शन डी के बारे में कुछ आप बता सकते हो, आप सी के बारे में भी कुछ बता सकते हो, 0 के लिए, एवरी रियल नंबर के लिए भी, और एवरी नॉन ज़ीरो यहाँ पे स्पेसिफिकली उन्होंने कहा. सो द आइडियल वे टू लुक फॉर the discontinuity is x equal to 0. Okay, so I did that. What you have to realize is when you are finding the left hand limit, okay, when you are finding the left hand limit at x equal to 0, first thing is you have to, I did this way. I marked the value of box x when x is in between here. तो अगर मेरा x इन दोनों नंबर्स के बीच में है तो मेरी बॉक्स x की जो वैल्यू है वो -1 हो जाएगी. For mod, I am not really required to care because if I substitute 0 there, I'll get 0. So I've got LHL as 0. ठीक है. Did the same thing for RHL. अभी RHL में ये वाला पार्ट जो बॉक्स x का था वो पूरा ही 0 है. So we need not even worry about the mod function. That still gives us 0. So RHL is 0. So at least limit exists. And then I did the same thing and found f of 0. तो continuous at x equal to 0 तो हो गया. भी कंटिन्यूस है इसीलिए ऑप्शन डी वुड गेट एलिमिनेटेड क्योंकि कहा है एक्सेप्ट 0, और ऑप्शन सी कहा है एवरी इंटीजर इज अ पॉइंट ऑफ डिसकंटिन्यूटी, तो वो भी ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट हो गया क्योंकि इन्होंने कहा था कि डिसकंटिन्यूस होना चाहिए 0 पे नहीं. ओके, देन आई लुक्ड एट 1, आई फॉलोड द सेम प्रोसीजर. सो व्हेन आई गो फॉर x इक्वल टू 1, टू द लेफ्ट इट गिव्स मी 0 and to the right it gives me 1. Which part? The box part, right? So you get it, you get the LHL at 0 क्योंकि box है 0 है, and if you calculate the function's value at 1, okay, ये है x cubed minus 3x is box, okay, x cubed minus 3x is box at x equal to 1. 1 minus 3 is -2, mod minus 2 is 2. So LHL is not equal to f of 1, hence it's discontinuous at 1. That eliminates B. Continuous at every real number? No, not at 1. So yes, somebody raised a hand. Yes, any doubt? Or any comments on this question? None?
No, sir.
Okay. Question 8, I don't think I need to discuss this. All you had to know was x1 plus y upon a squared plus y1 upon b squared equal to 1. Cool? And then use the slope point form. Yeah, okay, I'll skip it. Too easy. How many of you got question 9? I like this question because the idea was unique. I never have seen the commutative property or rather anti-commutative property of cross product being used. तो इसमें कहा था कि let a bar and b bar be two vectors such that their addition, magnitude of their addition is 15, and a bar cross this is equal to 3i minus 4j plus 5k cross this. Now, if you by mistake say that a bar is actually negative b bar, it would mean a bar plus b bar is 0. But that contradicts this. So that's not true. Okay, तो आपको ध्यान से क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट का ये प्रॉपर्टी लगाना है. C cross D is negative of t cross. That's it, nothing else. I did that actually. So in the first step, what I did is I brought this term to LHS. Okay, I brought that term to LHS, तो उसको negative sign acquire हो गया. Okay, then I did two things. सबसे पहले तो मैंने इन दोनों का ऑर्डर बदल दिया, इंटरचेंज कर दिया इनको. So I wrote b bar as my first vector and I wrote that ijk vector as my second vector. So what happened because of that? Because I interchanged the positions, one negative sign popped up. This negative sign and this negative sign, they nullified the effect of each other and we basically got plus b bar cross this. And now I know the distributive property of cross product. तो इसलिए मैंने ijk वाले वेक्टर को वैसे ही रख के a बार को b बार के साथ ऐड कर दिया, तो यहाँ पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव प्रॉपर्टी है. Okay, and what does that say? A bar plus b bar cross c bar is a cross c plus b cross c. That's exactly what I did. Now see, क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट को जीरो होने के लिए तीन ही पॉसिबिलिटीज है. पॉसिबिलिटी वन, फर्स्ट वेक्टर इज अ नल वेक्टर. पॉसिबिलिटी टू, सेकंड वेक्टर इज अ नल वेक्टर. एंड पॉसिबिलिटी थ्री, दे आर कोलिनियर. Okay, now because the magnitude of a bar plus b bar is not zero, and you can clearly see that the other vector's magnitude is also not zero क्योंकि उसका एक नॉन जीरो i component है उसको. So because none of them are null vectors, the vectors must be collinear. Right? The vectors must be collinear, and the feature of the collinearity is that one vector can be written as a scalar multiple of the other. And that's it. What did I do then? I found the magnitude on LHS, I found the magnitude of the RHS, found the value of lambda. Okay, plus or minus 3/√2 आता है वो अगर आप मॉडुलस का इस्तेमाल करते हो तो. And then I took a bar plus b bar's dot product with this vector. Mind you, you might ask, how did I know a bar plus b bar? A bar plus b bar can be easily known because it is already a scalar multiple of this. What scalar multiple of that? That I determined using the magnitude equality. Okay, so वो 3/√2 आता है. इन्होंने भाई मॉड ही पूछा है, so it doesn't really matter whether you consider lambda to be positive or negative. You take the dot product, get the answer. The answer turns out to be 3/√2 because इसका dot product इस वेक्टर का इसके साथ 1 आता है. You can see that 3 into 6, negative 4 into 3, negative 12, 5 into 1 is 5, 6 plus 5, 11, 11 minus 12 is minus 1. Anyways, you are taking mod, so 1 into 3 bar, so 3. Cool. Any doubt in this question?
No, sir.
No? Okay. This is not even worth discussing because some of the CET questions are actually harder than this. What is the derivative of log of sin squared x with respect to sin x? Simple idea of parametric differentiation. Derivative of f with respect to g is f dash of x upon g dash. Okay.
Sir, I think this is a direct NCRT question.
Yeah. I honestly felt that PCB students had an edge if they had studied basic differentiation. Acha. Anyone with question 11's solution? Could you do this question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How did you do it?
I considered n equal to 1.
Okay. So you must have gotten A2 plus A3 plus A4.
Yes.
Okay.
I considered n equals to 1, so S1 was A itself, and some of the first 4 terms would be what? 2 times
No, 20.
2a
2 and 20.
minus.
Right? Would be 20.
Hmm.
In
Yeah,
fact, even I had done it earlier, but then I realized that it is not taking me anywhere and I can actually use AP. So, yeah, okay, please go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. Yeah, okay. So you said you put n equal to 1 and then you
yeah,
got
I got
20 there. So, and then you're saying S1 is A1, S4 is, yeah, so you must have got this.
no, since it's in an AP, I considered A1 equals to just A, and I wrote A to A. I wrote the sum in terms of A and common difference.
Okay, that's fine. So I also did the same thing. What I did is I realized that only terms in an arithmetic progression, they are linear in n, and so is their sum. So, well, not sum, but at least the terms. So I knew the sum of consecutive terms is 13n plus 7, so I tried to do that. I wrote a general formula for Tn AP, then I did it for n plus 1, n plus 2, and n plus 3, and then I added them, got A 3 times, 1, 2, and 3, so 3a, and then I added everything with d common, so n plus 1 plus n plus 2, I got it as 3n plus 3. Okay, now I knew that in this expression there is a term which contains n, and then there is another term which does not contain n, and I knew it here, 13n plus 7. So I did that. I did the matching. I equated 3a plus 3d, which was independent of n. I equated it with 7, and I equated 3nd with 13n. I got 3d equal to 13. I directly got d from that. I substituted it back here to get a, and then the rest was easy. It's a13 minus a10, so a plus 12d minus a plus 9d. Okay, so it eventually boils down to 3d. Now d is 13 by 3, so d is, yes.
Sir, may I suggest another method?
Yeah, please.
We can also use the Sn plus 1 minus Sn equals An property.
Oh, okay. Fine. Go ahead.
So we can first put n equals 10,
Sorry, n equals?
10,
Okay.
and then we can put n equals 9. So we will get two equations,
Hold
then
on
we
a
will
second.
subtract it.
Hold on a second. You're saying you put n equal to 10.
Yes,
So this will be S11 minus S. Oh, wait a second. I haven't written it correctly. Sorry. There should be a n plus 1.
sir. In the original equation, sir,
No, that's fine.
if you put
That's fine. But you mean to use this equation, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. One second.
The,
One
the
second.
in
Yes, go ahead.
we can put n equals 10 first.
N equals 10. So S13 minus S10 equal to 123. Okay.
That's the first one. And second equation, we can put n equals 9.
N equals 9. S12 minus
So
S9.
this should be 137, right? S10, the right hand side should be 137.
Oh, sorry, I have subtracted. Sorry. Okay, 137, and here it would be 117 plus and 124. Okay, now
Then we can subtract both the equations.
you
So
can subtract
S13 minus S12 will give
A13.
us A13, and S10 minus S9 will give us A10.
Oh, great. Oh, nice. This was faster than my method. Thank you. Good. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what name is. Mr. AZ3. What is that?
Sir, that's my Gmail ID. My name is Azhar.
Azhar. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Azhar's method is better than my method as far as the exam is concerned, because it lets you find the answer very easily.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
No issues. Question 12. I think this was very much doable. 5 fair coins are tossed independently. What is the probability that at least 2 heads appear? अभी at least मतलब 1 minus no head appears or 1 head appears. अभी 5 coins toss किए हैं तो sample size हो गया 2⁵, 32. One possibility is there where you will get all tails, so that is 1. And when you have 1 head and 4 tails, that 1 head can come first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. So this is the probability that you will get exactly 1 head. Just subtract and get the answer. That answer is 13/60. Okay, now for those of you who know a bit of random variables, this is a standard distribution called binomial distribution. Okay, so you can also do it that way, but even if you did not know it, you could have easily tackled this problem. All right, 3 more. I found question 13 a bit above the other questions. Definitely not very difficult. तो इसमें आपको ग्राफ से बहुत ही आसान हो सकता है अगर आपने ग्राफ्स निकाले. एटलीस्ट दैट इज़ माय अप्रोच. तो इन्होंने यहाँ पे कहा है कि एक फंक्शन है x पीस वाइज डिफाइंड है x² - 4x - 5 if x is greater than or equal to 1 and if it is 2x if x is less than. तो x less than 1 का ग्राफ निकालना बहुत ही आसान है. इट विल बी अ स्ट्रेट लाइन पासिंग थ्रू ओरिजिन, बट it will be actually a ray. Okay, it will be directed downward like this, and here it is 1, 2, but this is not on the line because it is a strict inequality, right? तो आपका अभी जो रेंज है वो हो चुका है -∞ to 2 open interval, and it is 1, 1 at least in this branch. Okay, तो now let's go to this quadratic x² - 4x - 5. तो ये इधर ऐसे रहेगा या ऐसे रहेगा, but because the coefficient of x² is positive, we know that the graph is going to be like this. Then the second job was to find where exactly is the minimum of that function located. So I did that. I found the derivative of f, x² - 4x - 5, which is 2x - 4. I equated it with 0, and that gave me x equal to 2. तो ये x equal to 2 में उसको ऐसे दिखेगा. अगर ये नेगेटिव रहता तो वो ऐसे दिखता था. ठीक है, सो दैट स्टैंडर्ड पैराबोला. तो x equal to 2 का अभी वैल्यू निकालना चाहिए हमें फंक्शन का. तो वो -9 आता है. इट्स समवेयर हियर. सो एट 1 द लेफ्ट पोर्शन इज अबव. ओके, तो 2 के लिए मिनिमम है, तो -9 को लेके थोड़ा ऊपर हम लोगों को जाना चाहिए. देयर itself you should realize that this function cannot be on 2. Okay, this function cannot be on 2 because if I draw a line parallel to y-axis, it is meeting the curve at 2 different points, telling you कि डोमेन में 2 ऐसे एलिमेंट्स हैं जो जिनका इमेज एक ही है, and hence it cannot be on 2. Okay, तो D चला गया. और सॉरी 1, 1 नहीं हो सकता. माय बैड, लेट मी टेक इट बैक. इट्स 1, 1, 1. तो F इज 1, 1 नहीं हो सकता. B. ओके, बट अगेन यू रियलाइज दैट ये जा रहा है -∞ को, ये जा रहा है +∞ को, और इनका जो गैप है, हालांकि ये डिसकंटिन्यूअस फंक्शन है, बट स्टिल दिस इज कवरिंग एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम -9 to +∞, द ब्लू पार्ट. Right, the blue part is covering everything from -9 to infinity, and the red part is covering everything from -∞ to 2. Oh wait a second, sorry, my bad. -9 नहीं होना चाहिए था वहाँ पे. It should have been. Oh yeah, sorry, it's singular. Sorry, it's singular. -9 to infinity, और यहाँ पे -∞ से लेके open interval 2 तक. So these two intervals actually overlap. Okay, कौन सा पार्ट ओवरलैप हो रहा है? -9 से 2 तक ओवरलैप हो रहा है, दैट्स फाइन, यू आर ओके विद दैट, इट्स ऑन टू, सो इट इज ऑन टू, सो नाइदर ऑन टू वाला पार्ट चला जाएगा. Okay, this is how I solved the problem. If you have any better method or alternate method, please let me know. Yes, any method that you followed and got the answer, that it is not 1 1 but on 2, apart from drawing the graphs quickly. Yes, none. ठीक है, 2 more from maths. ये स्टैंडर्ड लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन है, पर्टिकुलर सॉल्यूशन पूछा है, तो पहले एक्स स्क्वायर्ड से डिवाइड करेंगे और फिर लीनियर डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन का फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे. आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू कुड डू दिस. Yes, about question 14, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, thank you. Question 15 में एक ही चीज़ करनी थी. When x is in between 0 and pi by 2, mod of cos x is equal to cos x. And when x is in between pi by 2 and pi, this becomes negative cos x. That's exactly what I've done. Okay, तो पहले मैंने इसको कर दिया cos x, तो फिर 2 से डिवाइड करने के बाद ऊपर हो जाएगा 2 sin x cos x, which becomes sin 2x. और ये जो नेगेटिव साइन आया है यहाँ पर, दिस नेगेटिव साइन, इट हैज़ पॉप्ड अप बिकॉज ऑफ दिस. ठीक है, तो हो जाएगा उसका. देन यू जस्ट फॉलो इंटीग्रेशन बाय पार्ट्स. Cool. So do the integration by parts thing, you will end up getting option A. लेकिन यहाँ पे एक चीज़ है कि आपको साइंस जो है ना इसके, माइनस 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 माइनस, ये बहुत बार आता है, और यहाँ पे भी माइनस. So if you had paid enough attention to those negative signs, then you could have easily gotten to the correct option, and that is option A. Cool. So that was my take on maths. Very simple questions. I did not find any single question to be challenging. So let's go to physics now. I'll share this sheet with you later. Yeah, how about physics? How did you find physics? Usually it is tougher than math. Okay, we'll start with question 1.
Sir, it was easy but a bit lengthy.
Yes, agreed. It was lengthy, but there was no integration question in physics. Anyways, consider an elastic collision between two particles A and B of same mass moving in the same direction. Particle A is moving at speed VA and particle B is moving at speed VB. In the figures shown, the solid lines represent the motion before the collision and the dotted lines represent the motion after collision. Which of the following describes the motion of these two particles most accurately? And we had got 4 varieties, but if you look at the varieties closely, there are actually only 2 variations. One variation is in the graph of position time, and the other variation is in the graph of velocity time. Okay, what you had to know to solve this problem was fact number 1: velocities are exchanged if the masses are equal and the collision is elastic. तो अगर velocities exchange हो रहे हैं, ओके, और collision हो रहा है, इसका मतलब उनके जो स्पीड्स है वो अनइक्वल है. तो velocities exchange होने के बाद वो ऑप्शंस चले जाएंगे जहाँ पे उन्होंने कोलिजन के बाद भी सेम वेलोसिटी दिखाई है. लुक एट दिस, right? They have shown the same velocity for A, same with B, but one is enough to discard. Okay. अभी दूसरा क्वेश्चन हम लोगों को ये पूछना चाहिए कि which particle is traveling faster before the collision. तो मैंने पहले VA greater than VB ले लिया है, which means let's say this is particle A. Second, let me get the other one just for now. Yeah, so suppose this is A and this is B. I said VA greater than VB, so it's like this, right? And then the other one became faster, the first one became slower. अभी आपको ये समझ लेना चाहिए कि वेलोसिटी जो होती है वो हमेशा स्लोप होता है XT डायग्राम का. Correct? Velocity is the slope of XT diagram, just like velocity is the slope of AT diagram, right? Oh, sorry. Acceleration is the slope of XT diagram and velocity is the slope of XT diagram. dv by dt is A and dx by dt is V. So that's it. Once you come to know about that, that's fine. Or secondly, you also need to know कि अगर किसी एक लाइन का स्लोप दूसरे लाइन से बड़ा है और दोनों पॉजिटिव है, then what conclusions can you draw? अगर एक का इंक्लिनेशन ऐसा है, let's say m1, और m2 अगर उससे छोटा है तो उसका लाइन ऐसे होना चाहिए. करेक्ट? दैट्स अ सिंपल मैथमेटिकल फैक्ट दैट यू हैव टू नो. तो अगर हम लोगों ने अज्यूम किया कि VA इज ग्रेटर देन VB बिफोर कोलिजन, देन स्लोप ऑफ XT डायग्राम ऑफ A शुड बी ग्रेटर देन स्लोप ऑफ XT डायग्राम ऑफ V. अभी ये किस में है कि इन्होंने दिखाया है का ऑप्शंस अभी दो ही बचते हैं, ये और ये ऑप्शन. ओ सॉरी, या these two, because we have eliminated the red crosses by considering the contradiction given by them. तो अभी इनमें जो VA ग्रेटर देन VB बिफोर कोलिजन है वो यहाँ पर, in fact in both of the cases it's VA greater than VB, if you can see. Okay, क्योंकि B वाली जो लाइन है ना वो कम कम वर्टिकल है, you can say that. A ऐसा है तो B उसका थोड़ा सा फ्लैट है, इसका मतलब उसका स्लोप कम. ठीक है. So VA is greater than VB in both the cases. Slope of XT diagram of A should be greater than slope of XT diagram of B. But if you check the options, what you find is ये इन्होंने इंटरचेंज तो किया है यहाँ पर, लेकिन ये उसके जो लेफ्ट वाला फिगर है उसके साथ मैच हो रहा है क्या, वो अगर आपने चेक किया तो आपका आंसर आ जाए. ओके, तो हम लोग जो गलत ऑप्शन है उससे स्टार्ट करेंगे. देखिए, यहाँ पे इन्होंने इनिशियली ये बताया है कि VB इज ग्रेटर देन VA. दिस व्हाट दे सेड, VB greater than VA, which means the line of B before the collision happens should be more vertical than that of A. लेकिन यहाँ पे वैसा नहीं हो रहा है, B का लाइन थोड़ा फ्लैट है compared to A. That's it. That leads to the contradiction and therefore option A is correct. ठीक है, तो that was my logic. I would like to know what you people did to solve this. Yes?
Same, sir.
Same? Okay, correct.
Yes, same.
Question 2, would you do question 2? A block of mass m lies at rest, connected to a massless spring of swing constant k on a frictionless surface. A bullet of mass m hits the block horizontally with speed v as shown in the figure and is completely stuck to the block. What is the maximum compression in the spring resulting from this impact, assuming that at this point the spring is still not fully compressed? See, what do they mean by that? By that, they mean when this block is entirely absorbed, rather, when that collision happens, the spring continues to compress, and at a time when both blocks come to standstill, their energy is entirely well, the system's energy is entirely potential. उसके बाद भी वो स्प्रिंग में थोड़ा और compression करने के लिए जगह बची, okay? Which means the spring can further be compressed to some amount. उसका अभी भी थोड़ा बाकी है, I would say reservoir of energy, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे एक ही चीज़ आपको यूज़ करनी है, वो है मोमेंटम कंजर्वेशन. Considering this to be the positive direction, okay, initial momentum is mv, ये initial momentum है, final momentum is m plus m into vf, final velocity. Get the final velocity from that. अभी एक बार collision होने के बाद ये perfectly inelastic collision है ना, completely stuck, तो perfectly inelastic collision. तो उसके बाद that system will move as a single block. So what I did then was apply our usual spring expression for potential energy, half kx squared, let it compress by x निकालना है, kinetic energy of the system equals the potential energy of the system after collision. ये important है. If you do it otherwise, then you will not get the correct answer after collision. So you need to find Vf first. Then it's just easy. Just take x squared on one side, shift k to the denominator of the other side, and then well, just do the rest. Substitute for Vf जो आपने यहाँ पर निकाला and get the answer. Yes, could you do this on your own in the exam?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other method? I don't see any. Yes. Okay. Question 3. Question 3. A card of massam is released from me, the highest point of a frictionless track. Shown the figure. The card travels along the track and enters the semicircular arc DBC of radius r. The heights of the points A and B are h1 and h2 from the ground respectively. Which of the following quantities does not play any role in ensuring that the cart does not leave the track? Mass of the cart, heights h1, h2, radius of the semicircle arc. Now, what I did is I considered the peak point, possibility of leaving at B, and the cart is going to leave when it is about to lose the contact with the surface. So I drew the free body diagram here. At the top, I knew two forces will act if it completes the loop at B. I equated it with the expression for the centripetal force, that's second law. Mass into A centripetal is summation forces acting along the radial direction. Correct? So I did that with n equal to 0. I got the speed, root gr. In fact, if you look for the vertical circular motion expression, it is essentially the same as this. तो फिर मैंने एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन लगाया. Okay, because it is frictionless. And this energy conservation was applied between A and B. Okay, although there is an elevation difference, here it has some velocity, so it has kinetic energy. तो equate कर दो, m automatically cancel हो जाता है, so you'll get other things, and therefore it doesn't depend on m. That is my logic. If you did it any other way, please let me know. Yes. How did you do it, or you did not?
Sir, I tried the work energy theorem, but eventually I got stuck and I had to leave the question. So.
Okay, you applied work energy theorem between which points?
Same A and B. Okay. But I think I did some mathematical mistake. So I got confused there and I had to leave in haste.
ठीक है. Others?
The same method as you.
Oh. Cool. Question 4. I found this also a lot easier, but we are not familiar with v equal to u plus at equations for rotational motion, but this problem is exactly doing the same thing. A circular disk of mass m and radius r is rotating clockwise with a uniform angular velocity omega about axis, passing through the center normal to the disk. At time t equal to 0, torque t is applied along the same axis to oppose the rotation of the disk. What is the angular displacement theta measured from t equal to 0 in the clockwise direction that the disk attains before it starts rotating counterclockwise? Which means, see, before it starts rotating counterclockwise, इसका मतलब it momentarily comes to rest. Omega final. Okay, it momentarily comes to rest. That's it. The second thing that you had to do here was not to include time. क्योंकि time पूछा नहीं है. Okay, you're not supposed to include time in it. Okay, not to include time. And once you do that, it's easy. तो अभी आपके पास 3 equations है. v equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at squared. Both of them have time in it. Only one of them doesn't. The third one, v squared is u squared plus 2as. The rotational analog of this is omega final squared is omega initial squared plus 2 alpha theta, right? And that theta is what they have asked. So what I did is this is 0, put it there. Initial velocity was already given. यूनिफॉर्म था तो इनिशियली वही होना चाहिए. इट्स डिसेलरेटिंग, सो अल्फा शुड बी नेगेटिव, एंड अल्फा के लिए आपको टाउ इक्वल टू अल्फा ये फॉर्मूला यूज करना. और डिस्क है तो मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया हो जाएगा mr स्क्वायर बाय 2 विद द गिवन एक्सिस. तो ये यहाँ पे डाल दो, आई पे थीटा निकालो, विल गेट इट इजी. ओमेगा स्क्वायर्ड mr स्क्वायर्ड बाय 2 मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया बाय टॉर्क. Here see again, the benefit that they have taken, because there is no time involvement, is that they have used the letter t for torque. Otherwise they use tau for torque. Like they can now take this luxury because time is not required here to be considered. It's there but not to be considered. You get the answer. Yes, this is how I did. अगर आपने कोई अलग किया है तो बताओ, या फिर हम अगले प्रॉब्लम को डिस्कस करें.
So I did it using like fully calculus. So I wrote alpha is this, and then d omega by dt equals t by I. I found omega as a function of time, and then theta as a function of time again. And then using omega as a function of time, I found the time at which omega equals 0, and then substituted in the expression for theta. It's a bit longer, but yeah.
Yeah, basically you applied second law, I would say.
Yeah.
ठीक है. I know the approaches will differ because in the exam, when you are under that pressure, you don't know which method, you don't have even time to think about optimizing the method. Whichever method your head recommends you follow it. Anyways, yeah. You did that. Good. Anyone with question 5? How many of you did this question? Please raise your hands. No one? Okay, let's solve it. A metallic cube initially kept at a temperature T is emitting black body radiation with a power P, energy emitted per unit time. If T is increased by 1%, the power being radiated increases by 4.5%. What is the approximate percentage increase in the volume of the cube in this process? तो मैंने ये अज्यूम किया है कि हमारा जो क्यूब है उसका इनिशियल साइड L है. भी क्यूब को 6 फेसेस होते हैं तो उसका सरफेस एरिया हो गया 6 टाइम्स L स्क्वायर. Now apply Stephen's law. Apply Stephen's law. The power, which is in joules per second, sigma A t raised to 4. So this is what I get. Now it's better if you recall logarithmic differentiation and what we do in physics, that is error measurement. तो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने पहले तो logarithmic differentiation किया यहाँ पे और उसके बाद log लेके differentiate किया. So p sigma 6 l square t raised to 4 ln p ln 6 sigma, अभी इनको मैं साथ में लिख सकता हूँ because they are constants. 2 ln l 4 ln t, take the derivative, so dp by p 0, 2 dl by l plus 4 dt by t. ये अभी रिलेटिव एरर से एक्चुअली, लेकिन अभी हम इनको परसेंटेजेस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. हालांकि मैंने लिखा नहीं है यहाँ पे, बट इट इज अज्यूम्ड दैट आई मल्टीप्लाई दिस बाय. ओके, नाउ आई डिड नॉट नो by what fraction will the length change. So I assumed it as x. dl by L, I called it x. I knew dt by t, temperature is increased by 1%. तो इसीलिए मैंने यहाँ पे आपको देखा मैंने कुछ लिखा नहीं है apart from 4 because I know that it is 1. This gave me, well, if you solve it for x, okay, you will get it as 0.25. So this is dl by L. This is our dl by L. And then you extend the same, once you get the percentage increase in the side, you extend it to volume v equal to L cube. ln v is 3 ln L. Take the same thing, dv by v is equal to 3 dl by L. 3 into 0.25, 0.7. That is how I got what's up. If you have used any other method, be happy to know. ये किसी ने किया है क्या problem solve?
So I tried, but this error analysis didn't strike me at first. So what I did was this first equation was same, p equals sigma 6l square t power 4. And then the second equation I wrote as, since power increases by 4.5%, I wrote it as 1.045 p
Correct.
equals sigma 6 l dash square, and then 1.01 t whole power 4. And I solved for a dash, the new length, and then, but like I was getting 63% approximately. I wasn't able to get, like, I used the calculator. I did this question like 3-4 times to like check the things again, but I got the, like, every time I got 63%. I didn't get 75, so I had to leave it. Sorry, 0.63, not 63, sorry.
Yes, because when I just read it, it occurred to me that shall we take the thermal expansion into consideration? That is what my first thoughts were, but then I later on shifted to taking log, because in our practice sessions before IISER, the test, we solved 1 or 2 questions. If others who are my students, they may remember that. It was one of the KVPY PYQ which I had asked you to solve, if you could remember. तो वहाँ पे हम लोगों ने ऐसे ही किया था लॉग में, और हमारे एक टेस्ट प्रॉब्लम में भी यही था, just take the log and then do it.
Okay.
So yeah, but yes, and the other thing that actually is hinting towards this method is they're saying approximate percentage increase. So they don't want you to kind of go the exact way. I think in your case, when you're solving it, at some point you might be required to apply the binomial theorem with fractional power. Say 1 plus x raised to some root of half or something. और मुझे लग रहा है कि वहाँ पे शायद वो कैंसिल हो जाएगा जो आप बोल रहे हो ना, आपका 0.65 आ रहा है.
Yeah.
I think that might be the case, but I'm not really sure about it. You can try.
Sir, I also tried the same way, but it did not come the answer.
Which way, this way or his way?
No, sir, the other way.
Okay.
His way.
Fair enough. In the exam time, some questions are bound to, because we are not robots. Like problem पढ़ लिया, जो भी formula था वो retrieve किया, apply कर दिया, हो गया. So that's fine, no problem. Question 5. Question 6, again I found it typical IISER level where they mix the concepts and ask, but not too hard. Consider two pipes A and B of identical length. A has one end closed and one end open. B has both ends open. Each tube is immersed in a closed chamber of ideal gas having volume V. The chamber containing tube A is at temperature TA, and the chamber B containing tube B is at the temperature T. The sound frequencies correspond to nth harmonic of A and the nth harmonic of B are the same. So Na is equal to Nb. The frequencies are same. What is the relation between the temperatures T and T? I found this pretty simple, except for the fact that they have not given the overtones here. That actually makes it a bit easier. क्योंकि overtones count करने के लिए हम बोल रहे हैं कि 1, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th overtones for both. But when the pipe is open only at one end and closed at the other, we know only odd harmonics are present. So I initially tried to make a list of that, you can see. लेकिन बाद में मुझे realize हुआ कि वो उसका ज़रूरत नहीं है. All you had to know was first to write down the expressions for the fundamental frequencies for pipe closed at one end and open at both. उसके बाद ये frequencies same है. कौन से frequencies same है? Nth harmonic वाले. So Na into n fundamental for the first equal to Nb into n fundamental of the second. Okay. तो ये स्पीड ऑफ साउंड है जो डिपेंड करता है टेम्परेचर पे. पाइप का लेंथ तो सेम ही है. तो आई हैड टू बोरो दिस रिलेशन फ्रॉम आवर टेक्स्ट बुक. V is root gamma nRT by m. M is the molecular weight of the gas. Gamma is its adiabatic coefficient. N number of moles doesn't really matter. R is at the gas constant. Immaterial in this case. So V varies with root of T. कर दो सब्सटीट्यूट Na इंटू रूट ऑफ TA. अच्छा, यहाँ पे और एक चीज़ है, ये जो 4 है ना, ये आपको नहीं इग्नोर करना है. although it is a constant, though that constant is not present on both sides. अगर वो नहीं करते तो शायद आपका आंसर गलत आ सकता था. In this case I did consider it correctly. See, I mean there are options like that, right? In this case that 4 is in the denominator or somewhere, don't know, but it's essential to consider it in the correct way. And then if you simplify, you get the answer. Yes, किसी ने किया ये question? Please raise your hands. Cool. All right, moving ahead. Question 7. Well, I again found this to be the brother of find the derivative of log of sin squared x with respect to sin x. Consider two waves which are given by y1 equal to that and y2 equal to that. K wave number, omega angular frequency. The amplitude of the resultant waveform obtained by the superposition of the two waves is AS. Phase difference with y1 is phi s. What are A's and phi's? First thought, shall I go for the change of cos to sine? Okay, I mean sine of kx minus omega t plus pi by 2 हो सकता है. But then if you look at this root 3, you realize that we have done this before in mathematics, where in trigonometric equations, where when you have a cos plus b sine, we always divide by root a square plus b square. That's exactly what I did. Okay, तो मैंने उसको नहीं change किया. I wrote it as cos only, did not change it, but I multiplied and divided by 2. That 2 that you can see outside is the multiplied part, and that 2 that you do not see is actually replaced by this cos pi by 3, which is half sin pi by 3, which is root 3 by 2. It's sin a cos b plus cos a sin b, sin of a plus b, phase difference pi by 3, amplitude. Yes, trust me, it did not take me too long, and I think that should be the case with you all. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It was very quick.
CET level question. Okay, question 8. How about question 8? Has anybody done this?
Yes, sir.
You did. did you? Okay, let me explain my method, and if it matches with you, better. Otherwise, we'll see. A particle of charge E and mass m with kinetic energy k enters an electric field set by two parallel plates of length L as illustrated below. The potential difference between the plates is 1 volt and the separation is d. What is the minimum value of k in electron volts for which the particle will not hit either of the plates? E is the charge of the electron. Now see, it doesn't really matter whether this particle is positively charged or negatively charged, because the positively charged particle will get deflected along the field and the negatively charged particle will get displaced in the direction opposite to the field. तो उसका हम लोगों को अभी नहीं कंसिडर करना है, क्योंकि ये जो पार्टिकल है ये उस कैपेसिटर के एग्जैक्टली बीच में एंटर कर रहा है. You can see that's d by 20t. Okay, so what I first did is I brought in the coordinate system. I considered left to right as x, I considered up as positive I, and then I first wrote the expression for the acceleration. Because this has no force, this particle sees no force along x, it has zero acceleration there, so 0 I cap, but it does have an acceleration along y. तो वो acceleration निकालने के लिए अभी ये 1 वोल्ट है, लेकिन अभी मैंने ये इंडिपेंडेंटली किया है तो मैंने कोई वैल्यू नहीं डाला वहाँ पर. ओके, so first of all I use the fact that field is voltage by the gap if the field is uniform, otherwise it becomes a derivative. तो v by d हो गया, उसको चार्ज से मल्टीप्लाई करो फोर्स आएगा, मास से डिवाइड करो एक्सेलरेशन. ठीक है, and then I integrated this. Okay, I integrated acceleration to get with time to get velocity. Now I know this is a constant because there is no acceleration along x, but then it took me to kinetic energy. तो मैंने क्या किया यहाँ पे इस एक्सप्रेशन में I have written the initial velocity in terms of kinetic energy. तो आप वो देख सकते हो, मैंने यहाँ पे किया है ये वाला पार्ट, k is half mv squared, v becomes 2k by m का root. ठीक है, but on the other side there will not be any constant of integration, rather this c will be 0, क्योंकि इस पार्टिकल को कोई भी y डायरेक्शन में वेलोसिटी नहीं है बिफोर इट एंटर्स द कैपेसिटर. ठीक है, तो सिर्फ वो ev by md into t हो जाएगा. And then I integrated it one more time, but this time because my origin is exactly where this particle is entering the capacitor, इसमें इंटीग्रेशन करने के बाद जो भी कॉन्स्टेंट्स आएंगे वो दोनों जीरो हो जाएंगे. एंड वंस आई गेट दैट, everything is ready for me. I've basically found out how it varies, how its position varies with time as it enters the capacitor और जो पैरेलल प्लेट्स है. तो ये अकॉर्डिंग टू मी ये मेन पार्ट है इस प्रॉब्लम का. A main expression you can call it. Now when will it not hit? Okay, when will it not hit? It will not hit provided it manages to not bend more than what it should when it just reaches them. That itself is enough for me. तो अभी मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि how much horizontal distance does it get? How much horizontal distance does it get to have that lateral shift? Okay, because lateral shift is due to field. ये horizontal वाला part तो वैसे रहे. So what I did is I applied the condition that when x is L, y should be d by 2. It would just miss it. It would just miss it. You can see that. ये मैंने यहाँ पे किया. तो सबसे पहले मैंने x equal to L लेके t का वैल्यू निकाला. In fact, yeah, basically what I did is I first found the value of L. Found the value of t, sorry. I first found the value of t here. ये मैंने पहले निकाला था, x को L डाल के t निकाला. Secondly, तो ये मेरा t है. And then I substituted that t squared. Where? Look here. यहाँ पर भी एक एक्सप्रेशन है जो मेरा y का है, y कोऑर्डिनेट है पोजीशन वेक्टर का. वहाँ पे d by 2 डालो और आपको बेसिकली टी स्क्वायर्ड के 2 एक्सप्रेशंस मिलेंगे, उसको इक्वेट कर दो. Cool. Even the other way it would have worked. तो टी स्क्वायर्ड के जो 2 एक्सप्रेशंस मिले, एक आएगा आपका एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट का और दूसरा आएगा आपका वाई कोऑर्डिनेट का. इक्वेट कर दो, आपको काइनेटिक एनर्जी का एक्सप्रेशन. ठीक है, तो मैं यहाँ पे एक कमेंट कर ऐड कर देता हूँ. सो व्हाट आई डिड इज पुट x and y values, get t, equate and solve for k. If you do that, you will get in joules as L squared EV by 2D squared, and we know whenever you want to convert any energy in joules to electron volts, we divide by the charge on the electron. तो मैंने उसको कर दिया वहाँ पे divide. It becomes L squared V by 2D squared, लेकिन V 1 है. V is 1, gives me L squared by 2D squared. Anyone with this answer?
Slightly, it's more or less the same, but a slightly shorter approach.
Sure.
So I did the same thing. So I found the acceleration first, and then I considered the edge case. So where it just passes through one of the corners of the plates. And for that case, I wrote the vertical, the S equals VD plus half AT square, that equation for the vertical part. So I get D by 2 equals 0 plus half into acceleration, which is E by md into T square. Using this, you solve for T. And then after that, you can say the velocity which it started with, the horizontal velocity, into time is equal to L. And then from that, you solve for V, and then half mv squared equals K.
Yes, fair enough. I guess I've done it in the vector notation. You have done it otherwise, but yes.
Yeah, I just didn't use the vectors, that's it.
Okay. No, I have this habit because in mechanics, we used to do a lot of 3D. तो आदत हो गई कि you just mention acceleration in IJK. But anyways, that's fine. Cool. Anyone else who wants to add more on this? None? Okay. Question 9. This was also simple. Who managed to do question 9? What is the potential difference between the points P and Q in the circuit shown below once the capacitors are fully charged? Abhi fully charged implies that there is no current, capacitors are charged. Okay, so sounds like a Wheatstone's bridge with capacitors, but it is not. Okay, so ये मैंने एक branch कर दिया यहाँ पे. This branch is this. It's not the current. Okay, I'm just showing the branch, and then the bottom one. So what I did is I first found out what is the potential difference between the plates of this capacitor, and to do that I have first used the fact that the potential difference between these 2 points is 12 because it's a parallel combination, and then when the capacitors are connected in series, the charge is the same, and with C equal to Q by V formula, I can say that C1 V1 is equal to C2 V2 for the top branch. This is my top branch. Okay, so C1 V1 equal to C2 V2. ना वो हालांकि उन्होंने माइक्रोफैरेड में दिया है, डजेंट रियली मैटर क्योंकि माइक्रो कैंसिल हो जाएगा, तो आपको V2 इक्वल टू 2V1 मिल जाएगा उससे. ओके, दिस इज C1, दिस इज C2. ओके, वंस यू गेट इट, यू ऐड V1 एंड V2 बिकॉज अभी देखो ये फेजर्स नहीं है बिकॉज इज DC, इज नो फेजर, यू कैन ऐड देम. V1 plus V2 equal to 12. Use 2V2, use V2 as 2V1 to get V1 as 4 volt and V2 as 8 volts. तो मैंने दिखा 4 और 8. अभी ये तो 12 था, तो यहाँ पे पोटेंशियल थोड़ा ड्रॉप हो चुका है, तो यहाँ पे आपका हो जाएगा 8 वोल्ट. ठीक है, 8 वोल्ट है. एंड देन अगर आपने ये दूसरा बॉटम ब्रांच देखा है, मिडिल ब्रांच, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, देयर इज अ capacitors have got interchanged. The 2 capacity capacitor is first, then the 4 capacity capacitor is 4. So these voltages will just get different, so it's flipped, rather this is 8 volt and then will be 4 volt. So if you do that in the bottom branch or the middle one, it's V1 8V and V2 4V. So VP becomes 12 minus 4 8, VQ is 12 minus 8 4, delta V is 8 minus 4 4. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any other method? I don't think there is. Yeah. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Next. So anybody did question 10?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
did.
sir.
You did. Okay. I somehow did not get the expression for the pitch right. I will check my calculations now. I did it twice, but I somehow ended up getting a wrong expression for the pitch. I could not get that 2 by 3. I got 1 by 2. But let me check it once again. See, basically we need to first know what velocity component is perpendicular to the field and what one is along the field, because V parallel lets it move in a straight line and V perpendicular lets it rotate in the circle. So this is what I've done. Firstly, I found a projection of V bar along V bar, which is V bar dot B cap. B cap, that's the standard way we use projections in maths. So firstly, I took the dot product of V bar with B bar. Okay, V bar with, oh sorry, I guess I am not considered, I just considered the unit vector, which is I plus j plus k by root 3. Okay, I plus j plus k by root 3. And did it give me anything? Okay, let me do it here. I guess I did it orally. K dot I plus j plus k by root 3. 1, 1, 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's 1 by root 3. That's correct. And the unit vector b cap again. So that gave me v naught by 3 I plus j plus k. But this is actually v parallel. In NCERT notations, v parallel. I need to subtract it from v to get v perpendicular. Okay, so I did that. 1 minus 1 upon 3, 2 by 3. This is also 2 by 3. And this is minus 4 by 3. So this is v perpendicular. And this is the speed that I can use now. QVB equal to mv squared. Right? Oh, sorry, small. So using this expression, I got the radius right. This is v perpendicular. I found out its magnitude by taking 2 by 3 common. It's 1i plus 1j minus 2k. So 1 squared is 2, and then this squared is well, 2 squared is 4. तो मुझे v perpendicular का magnitude तो आ चुका है, v naught 2 root 6 by 3. And then I did what we usually do, the Lorentz forces expression with no field, electric field. mv squared by r is qvp with v perpendicular. तो मेरा r हो जाएगा m, अच्छा एक v को कैंसिल करना चाहिए, mv by qb. So I'm getting the expression for r right now. Okay, mq as it is, I substituted for v perpendicular as v naught 2 root 6 by 3. Okay, and I also looked for the magnitude of b, and the magnitude of b is b naught into root 3, because this is I plus j plus k. तो मैंने उसका magnitude वहाँ पे लिख दिया root 3. Root 6 cancels root 3 with root 2 left. So finally I get the radius as 2 root 2 mv naught by 3 q b naught. तो मेरा radius का expression सही है. It actually matches with this. 2 root 2 mv naught upon 3 q b naught. 2 root 2 mv naught upon 3 q b naught. But somehow I'm not getting the pitch correct. If I get it correctly, is it the distance that it travels parallel to the field in the same time that it takes to complete one revolution?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's v parallel into time, and it's v parallel into v perpendicular by 2 pi r. Because if it has got the speed, or should I have taken the reciprocal of that? 1 second. Oh, okay, got it. This is not dimensionally correct, isn't it? It should have been 2 pi r upon the speed. Okay, got it. Okay, I guess now I'll get it right. Let me do it. V parallel in speed. That's V naught root 3. V naught by root 3. V naught by root 3. Okay. V parallel is V naught by root 3. Now I need to be sure I want 2 pi r written in the numerator. R is 2 root 2 mv naught upon 3 qb naught, and I want V perpendicular to be written in the denominator. So 3 by V naught 2 root 6. Okay. 3 goes. 1 V naught goes. 1 2 goes. So I'm left with 2 pi root 2 mv naught upon qb naught into root 8. Okay, fine. I guess I have now got it. This is root 2 and this is root 9, which is 3. So 3 qb naught and the denominator at 2 pi. Okay, cool. ये आपने प्रोजेक्शन का कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करके किया या कैसे और किया? The other way.
Sir, I actually.
Huh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, please.
So what I did was I first took the cross product to find sine theta, and then other equations I used mv sine theta upon r. Sorry, mv sine theta square upon r is equals to the force, which is qvb, v cross b.
Fair enough. Okay.
And for the pitch, I just use v cos theta into time period, and time period is not dependent on velocity, so it will be 2 pi m by qb.
Okay, fair enough. Me being more math oriented, you can see me using vectors anyway whenever I see them. Yes. So yeah, in whichever way you found convenient, you did. Any other method for this? Okay, no doubts. Question. Okay, we'll continue with remaining 5. Yeah, anybody with question 11? A charged particle is moving. Let's read it.
Yes, sir, I did it.
You did it. Okay, wait. Then you'll explain. A charged particle is moving in a circular orbit with radius r and orbital angular frequency omega in the presence of a magnetic field. The orbit is enclosed within a large circular metallic frame in presence of a magnetic field. The orbit is enclosed. The orbit is enclosed within a larger circular metallic frame. The frame is concentric and coplanar with the orbit. The radius of the frame is now gradually decreased. Assuming that the particle remains within the frame at all times, what changes to the trajectory of the particle will occur as the frame is being shrunk? The radius will gradually decrease, the frequency will gradually increase. The radius will gradually increase and the frequency will gradually decrease. The radius remains the same, but the frequency will gradually increase. Both the radius of the orbit and the frequency will remain unchanged. Yes, Sai, tell us what you did.
Sir, the magnetic field due to the metallic frame will be mu naught I upon 2r.
At the center.
Yes, sir.
But the particle is not moving at the center.
Sir, but it will affect in the same way.
Okay.
So it is inversely proportional. Magnetic field is inversely proportional to r,
Okay.
and the radius is mv by qb. And the frequency is 2 pi qb upon 2 pi m.
Okay.
So these three relations can be used to get the answer.
Okay, but you must have first
And
used
the radius,
electromagnetic induction to account for the extra field. Did you use that?
Well, that did not occur to me, sir.
Okay, so this is my take. Because the radius of the loop is decreasing and the loop is in magnetic field. The radius is decreased, area decreases, flux decreases, the current flows such that to oppose the decrease. So suppose the field is cross. Okay, initial field is cross. As shown. And that the red loop is shrinking. इसका मतलब लूप में जो करंट इंड्यूस होगा वो उस डिक्रीज को प्रोहिबिट करने की कोशिश करेगा, तो वो जो करंट है वो ऐसे फ्लो होगा. Is that clear? So field induced will be in line with the existing field, okay, the induced field, and therefore the effective field is going to increase. Now because the effective field increases, I just wrote mv squared by r equal to qvb with v getting cancelled and v by r being omega. Omega is q by m, so I found omega and therefore frequency to increase. Now, did anyone do the frequency or the radius part apart from what she said, that field is varying inversely with the distance? Yes.
So I just like it said the loop is shrinking, and it also says that the particle remains within the frame. So if it's shrinking, then the orbit will have to decrease, right? Because the particle is bound to move within the loop. If the loop is shrinking, the radius also must decrease. Only then it will stay inside the loop. That's the logic I used for this.
Okay, so you're saying the particle remains within the frame at all times, and because the
Yeah.
frame is decreasing, the radius will gradually decrease. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is fair enough. Good. Anything else? Ishan?
Yes, sir.
Did you do this question?
No,
Okay, Azhar,
I was confused.
You are confused. ठीक है. Well, I think Sriram's arguments are what you need. Say particle remains within the frame at all times, so the radius has to gradually decrease. I would like to see the mathematical expression. Even I haven't done that, but we'll see. If I get time, then I'll write down the expression for the field and then we'll see how it affects the radius.
So it was good because there was no option in which radius of the orbit was uh, decreasing and there was any other change with frequency.
Okay, yes. Frequency gradually increases. Okay. C was there, right? I mean, that option was there. I don't know how you resolved that.
No, sir, in the way he said that a radius will decrease, but there is no
Okay.
other
Yeah,
option.
correct. Okay, cool. Question 12. Should this be explained or you people understood it? Consider an equilateral prism of refractive index 1.5 and a parallelepiped block of refractive index 2 arranged as shown in the figure such that their adjacent faces are parallel. Again, geometry at work. A light ray enters the prism from air at an angle of incidence such that the light travels with the prism parallel to its base. What is the angle of emergence theta? अभी ये जो parallel to the base ये जो statement है, इससे ये पता चलता है कि ये जो angle है which the refracted ray is making in the prism with its inclined face is 60 because the triangle is equilateral. Correct. So that gives us the first refraction angle to be 30 degrees because the red line is the norm. And then use Snell's law. Simple. Use Snell's law. Sin I by sin R is n. That gives me sine of the angle of incidence to be 3 by 4. And by symmetry, I can say that the emergence angle 1 E1 will also be the same. Okay, emergence angle E1. Now that emergence angle happens to be the angle of incidence in the parallel pipette case. Okay, तो sin E1 से मैं ये निकाल सकता हूँ. I've called it R2, but then again if I use the geometry, then I took this also to be R2 because of the parallel faces, and that is the transversal. तो मैंने वो कर लिया, and then I got sin R2 by sin theta equal to, again, the Snell's law at work. Effectively, I got theta as arc sine 3 by 4 or sin inverse of 3. I guess all of you got 12.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This was nice. I also initially thought of splitting this into 2 prisms, but then later on realized कि ऐसा इतना complicated नहीं होगा, ऐसे ही directly करके देखें. Cool. Question 13. Anyone with question 13? This was also nice. Okay. There was a nest PYQ similar to this. A source produces a light beam of intensity I0 polarized along the x direction. The beam is sent along the z direction. It enters a polaroid P1 with its polaroid axis aligned along the y direction so that no light exits the polaroid. When another polaroid P2 is placed in between the source and P1, the intensity measured after P1 is 3 I0 by 16. Which among the following is a possible value of theta, the angle of the polaroid axis measured from the x-axis? काफ़ी आसान प्रॉब्लम है. पहले तो वो एनालिसिस लॉ है, तो वो इमर्ज नहीं करेगा अगर ये polaroid absent रहेगा तो. Okay, so what I have done is I first found out the intensity of the light after P2. Can I call it I0 cos squared theta? Yes, by analysis law. Okay, now see, this polaroid P1 is making a right angle with x-axis, ये y-axis है इसका. But what angle is it making with the polaroid axis of this? क्योंकि अभी जो आपका vibration है वो इस plane में हो रहा है. Okay, so if this is theta,
90 man.
exactly, that's 9 pi by 2 minus theta. Very good. This is theta, this is pi by 2 minus theta. So the emergent intensity will be sine squared of, cos squared of this pi by 2 minus theta into original intensity. So that makes it I0 cos squared theta, the original, into cos of this. तो ये जो sin squared theta यहाँ पे लिखा है, ये actually है cos of pi by 2 minus theta. PCB students may find this difficult if they are not familiar with the trigonometry part, but it's a very basic formula. Cos of pi by 2 minus theta is sin theta. Acute angle triangle से भी prove कर सकते. That's it then. It's sin theta cos theta root 3 by 4 sin 2 theta root 3 by 2. ये 2 से multiply divide कर दो, या ये एक 4 का 2 जो है वो यहाँ पे ला. And then 2 theta is either pi by 3 or 2 pi by 3. आप चेक करोगे तो pi by 6 नहीं है ऑप्शंस में, तो पैनिक नहीं होना है. साइन ऑफ पाई माइनस थीटा इज साइन थीटा, तो उससे आपको दो वैल्यूज मिल जाएंगे, एक 30 का होगा, एक 60. उसमें से ऑप्शंस में 60 था. तो ठीक है, फेयर इनफ फॉर 13th. सिंपल.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
14th, I liked 14th very much. It's nice simple problem. An electron in the ground state with energy E1 of hydrogen atom absorbs a photon of energy EA and gets excited to a higher energy level of principal quantum number or orbit number m. What is the value of it? बहुत ही simple है. What I did is I first recalled the expression which we use for the energy in the nth stable state. It is inversely proportional to x. अभी हालांकि इसमें वो नेगेटिव कांस्टेंट है -13.6. वी डोंट केयर, वी जस्ट सेट k by 1 squared, तो उसको k हो जाएगा. And for En, if you call the same constant, it is k by n squared. ठीक है. Now I basically used energy conservation. E final is equal to E1, the ground energy, plus energy received. Energy received is EA. Energy which I already had is k. अभी ये सिंपल मैथ्स है. k को E1 डालो, दैट्स इट। k को इवन डालो, मतलब आपका k एलिमिनेट हो गया। शिफ्ट करो n स्क्वायर्ड को।
Sir, I think the value of n should be even upon even plus EA, which is a little bit.
No, 1 second. I just realized I've done something wrong here. Sorry.
Sir, only the expression of n square and n is wrong in writing it.
In last step. In last step.
In last step here.
Yes, sir. There you have
No,
made a mistake.
Right side.
Right side.
no, sir, the right side.
This one.
Sir, there is 1 by n square, then we will reciprocal it.
1 second.
Sir, even plus EA upon even is equal to 1 by n square.
E1 plus EA upon E1 is 1 by n squared. That's correct.
Sir, so look at the right side. You have written it is equal to n square.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
We need is reciprocal of it.
Yeah, okay. This part, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. 1
Sir,
upon
therefore
n
the answer is also reciprocal.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah, okay, better. I'll just say once. Would I have lost marks because of that? Luckily, no. E1
No,
is
sir.
only... Okay, EA is correct. It's cool. Thank you. Okay, last question. Again, simple one. A particle of mass m and charge q is accelerated through a distance d1 by an electric field E bar. Another particle of mass m and charge q is accelerated by the same electric field for a distance d2. Both the particles emerge with the same de Broglie wavelength lambda p. What is the ratio of the distances d2 to d? अभी फिर से मैंने यही फॉर्मूला लगाया है, v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as, assuming initial speed to be 0. v1 squared is u squared is 0, 2 times acceleration times the displacement. v2 का भी सेम, फिर मैंने v1 by v2 ले लिया, तो q और e कैंसिल हो गए, बचे दो क्वांटिटीज, डिस्टेंसेस और मासेस. ओके, फिर मैंने d1 by d2 को एक तरफ लेके बाकी चीज़ों को एक साइड भेज दिया, तो स्मॉल m गया न्यूमरेटर में, कैपिटल m आया डिनोमिनेटर. कूल. अभी दी ब्रॉय वेवलेंथ्स सेम है, इसी का मतलब उनके मोमेंटा सेम. Correct. So firstly, I brought 1 power of m in the numerator and in the denominator, which means I had to divide by capital M by small m. तो ये टर्म तो कैंसिल हो गया, सेम मोमेंट है तो ये 1 हो जाएगा. सो d1 by d2 is capital M by small m. उन्होंने d2 by d1 पूछा है, ध्यान रखना उसको, वो इसका रेसिप्रोकल हो जाएगा. ठीक है. सो स्मॉल m अपॉन. That completes our discussion. And yes, we have actually solved it in 90 minutes, although it was already solved, I just explained it. Yes.
Sir, the chemistry question.
Yeah, chemistry question. Which one?
Sir, could you search femtosecond? It's in the option.
F or FEMPTO?
FEMTO.
No, this is better. This is also doable, right? Thermodynamics question.
Yes, sir. Can you do this one?
Okay. This?
Yes, sir, this one.
Yes, sir.
What is the time period of revolution of an electron in the fourth Bohr orbit of He plus. Bohr radius is 52.9 picometers. Mass of an electron 9.11 into 10 raised to negative 31. Planck's constant is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule seconds. Time period is asked. Okay. What's the problem then?
Sir, I actually got option D in the exam.
0.24?
Yes.
Yeah, even I got 0.24.
Okay. Pico is 10 raised to minus 12, if I remember correctly, and femto is 10 raised to minus 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Check correctly. Pico is 10 raised to minus 12. That's correct. Femto is 10 raised to minus 12. 10 raised to 1. Okay, that's correct. Take fourth Bohr radius minus 4. He plus. What did you guys take Z as?
Sir, 2, right?
2.
Shouldn't it be 1?
Sir, Z is number of protons.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay,
2.
number of protons. Yeah, it's singly ionized helium. Singly ionized helium. Okay, we'll keep Z question thing, but I'm still a bit uncertain about that. Okay, then you must have applied second postulate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. MVR NH upon 2 pi with V being R omega. Okay, so T is equal to M R squared 4 pi squared by NH. Now, radius Rn, is it not A naught N square?
Sir, also upon Z.
Given, right?
Upon
Square
Z.
by Z.
Yeah, okay. Let me confirm it once. Upon Z, okay, that's fine. Square. Okay. So it's mass of electron into Bohr radius squared n squared. So this should be 16, right? Into 4 pi squared. Z is 2.
So it should be 4 power 4, right? N square. So
Okay, one second.
Sir, but it can be cancelled with one n in the denominator.
One second. Because the calculations are important, let's do it systematically. One second. Let me write everything except A naught and then let's come back to that. So it is M by NH into 4 pi squared into R squared. So it will be A naught squared n raised to 4, correct, upon Z squared, which is 4. Is it correct?
So 4.4 is 256.
Oh yeah, sorry. 16 squared, correct. Upon Now let's do one thing. Let's do this on Desmos because that can handle these calculations. Okay. Firstly, let's put that fraction. Mass. Four pi squared. A naught squared. A naught squared into 256 upon 16 into Planck's constant. 2.43 into 10 raised to minus 15. That's correct. Did you people miss any zero?
Yes, sir. I think I must have.
Yeah, calculation away somewhere.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So you people
Yeah.
mark 0.24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't help. 13th is done. Which other question you wanted? This one, right? Thermodynamics one.
Yes.
Okay. The work done when 1 mole of an ideal gas expands at constant temperature from volume V2 to V in 2 equal steps of volume in a linear fashion is 7 by 12 RT. How much more work would be done by the gas if it expands in 3 equal steps? R is the universal gas constant. Okay, at constant temperature from V2 to V in 2 equal steps of volume in linear fashion. Okay. So I believe first the volume changes from V to 3V by 2 and then 3V by 2 to V. 2V. And that work is 7 by 12 RT. Okay. Just cancel each other. Because effectively we are just doing integral a to b as integral a to c plus c to b.
That's what I thought, sir.
We'll check once. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting. Maybe then the problem doesn't mean that way. So this is C, because if you do it this way, it's not getting, it's not actually equal to 7 by 12 RT. Okay, we'll try to figure it out. 1 second. The work done on 1 mole of an ideal gas expands at constant temperature. Expansion at constant temperature, but not ln. Okay, we can do one thing. Ideal gas is there, so we can definitely apply the ideal gas equation there. PV equal to RT 1 molar response at constant temperature. Okay, I think it has something to do with the way we interpret PV equal to, the way we interpret this part. Expands at constant temperature from V to 2V. Okay. So basically, this 7 by 12 RT consists of something. I'm not really sure what they mean by that, but can we call it AV plus P? करके देखेंगे, क्योंकि अगर रैशनल आ रहा है नंबर यहाँ पे, तो मेरे ख्याल से ln का पार्ट नहीं आना चाहिए, isn't it? We'll see if that works. ओके, होल्ड ऑन अ सेकंड. टेम्परेचर तो कांस्टेंट है, तो वॉल्यूम और टेम्परेचर में हम फंक्शन नहीं डिफाइन कर सकते. कांस्टेंट कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर. ओके, होल्ड ऑन अ सेकंड. तो ये हमारा हो गया आइसोथर्म. Okay, this is isotherm according to the problem. So I guess what they mean when they say it is expanding is something like this. पहले तो ये ऐसे हो जाएगा, अभी यहाँ पे वो स्लोप चेंज हो रहा है. This is possibly what they might mean when they do it. तो मेरे ख्याल से ना आप ये तो चेक कर सकते हो कि अगर PV कांस्टेंट है, okay, let's do it and then we'll stop. Suppose PV is constant, okay, and if I call this pressure as P, or let's say P naught. So what will this pressure be? Okay, वो इसका pressure निकालेंगे एक बार.
had expanded it in three different steps.
Sorry.
In last line, they have written it expands in three equal steps.
पहले 2 का तो निकाल के देखेंगे ना. ओके, तो आप ये कह रहे हो कि ये निकालो ही मत, 7/, जितना आ रहा है उसका डिफरेंस ले लो. इज दैट व्हाट यू मीन?
No, the way you have हरे लाइन से जो आपने स्लोप बनाया उसको थ्री डिफरेंट स्टेप्स में कर सकते हैं.
हाँ वही, मतलब
उसको
जो मैं ये सोच रहा था कि ये 7/12 ला सकेंगे, लेकिन उसका ज़रूरत नहीं. दैट्स व्हाट यू आर सेइंग. तो आप ये कह रहे हो कि
पहले v था, फिर v+3 हो गया, फिर v+3 और इसके बाद फिर 2v हो गया. ऐसे 3
got
स्टेप्स
it,
में.
got it, got it. Yeah, let me correct it. Four v by 3, 5v by 3, 6v by 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ओके फाइन. तो अभी हम लोगों को 3 लाइंस लगेंगे यहाँ पे. एक ये वाली लाइन, फिर ये वाली, और फिर ये वाली. हालांकि एंड पॉइंट्स में जब प्रोसेस ख़त्म हो रहा है वो, वहाँ पे शायद हम वो कर सकते हैं. क्या कर सकते हैं? टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट है वो लगा सकते हैं. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट. पहले इस लाइन के लिए करेंगे. ट्रेपेजियम का फॉर्मूला लगा सकते हैं वहाँ पे. हाफ इंटू सम ऑफ पैरेलल साइड्स इंटू हाइट. तो लेट्स डू इट. Height for all 3 trapeziums is the same, and that height happens to be v/3. half sum of parallel sides के लिए थोड़ा काम करना पड़ेगा. Height is v/3.
p+3p/4 because p is constant.
Okay, so first is p, then this is 4v/3, so this is 3p/4, correct? In numerical integration we call it trapezoidal rule. तो ये 2 बार आएगा, इसका और एक का भी. ये 5v/3 है तो ये 3p/5 आएगा, राइट?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 3p/5. 3p/5, that will come twice, and then the last one is p/2, that will come only once. Okay, तो एक काम करेंगे, p को बाहर निकालेंगे और उस pv को rt लिख देंगे अपॉन 6 1 प्लस 2 इंटू 3/4 प्लस 3/5 प्लस 1. Okay, 1 plus 2 into fraction by 4 plus 3/5 bracket closed plus half 21/5. So this is RT by 6 into 21/5, 7 RT by 10. 7 RT by 10. अच्छा, तो अभी डिफरेंस लेना पड़ेगा, है ना? हाउ मच मोर वर्क. Have we missed any term in the calculations? 3p by 4, 3p by 5 आ गया. एक बार कैलकुलेशन चेक कर लेते. ये तो सही है. Okay, I guess we will check what answer we will get if we expand it in 2 equal steps. Okay, क्योंकि से तो नहीं आ रहा है हमारा आंसर, है ना. कैलकुलेटर तो गलत नहीं हो सकता. बस वो 7/60 दे रहा है हमें. ओके, तो अगर हम लोगों ने सिर्फ 2 ही स्टेप्स के लिए किया, so this would be v 3/2 and 2v half sum of parallel sides into height. Height would be v/2 and sum of parallel sides, तो पहले तो p, फिर 2 times 2p/3, then finally p/2. Looks all right to me. PV is RT, कॉमन ले लो उसको. ये 4, 1 + 4/3 + 1/2. This is 17/24. Maybe you are missing out or something. क्योंकि हमारा फॉर्मूला तो सही है बिल्कुल, इसमें कोई भी ये नहीं है. एज इन द मैथ इज राइट, द कैलकुलेशन पार्ट इज राइट. PV = constant maybe we are not capturing in 3 equal steps. What does that mean? 2 equal steps of volume तो लिखा है in a linear fashion. ठीक है. If I get a better solution, I need to ask my wife because she teaches chemistry. If she has ever seen a problem like this, she will definitely be able to answer it. ठीक है. All right, so I'll stop. I'm conducting some nest sessions. If you people who aren't my students, if you want to join, I'll share the details with you. Okay. Good night.
Thank you.